Alright, g'day guys, Alex here with Immortal Strength and Conditioning. Today giving you a review of the Renaissance Periodization strength templates. Basically, when you purchase your templates, you get 3 files. You get an FAQ, which answers some frequently asked questions that you might have, a how-to document which tells you how to use the program, and then the actual program or mesocycle. So let's go to that one. So basically when it opens, you get 3 sheets. You get an instructions, which is really simple, just how to input the data basically, the actual data sheet, and then the mesocycle. So when you start off, you get 10 movements total. Just some background, this is the intermediate 5-day-a-week template. There's also an option for 4 days a week. So when you start off, you have a drop-down menu that you can choose different movements. So in a strength block, you're going to be using something closer to the competition lifts as well as the competition lift itself. So just for demonstrative purposes, I've chosen pretty much some general exercises here. Pushing movements, you get a lot of different selections as well, from tricep movements to chest movements. You also get hamstring movements, which isn't that many, but the good thing is you also have, for most movements, it will give you something like this, other hamstring movement of choice, so you can hit that, and then just in the program you just manually type in what exercise you're doing. So for something like this, you could chuck in, I don't know, like Romanian deadlift or leg curls or something like that. So what I'll do for demonstrative purposes is I'm just going to put in some arbitrary numbers here, just so we have something to work with. So none of this really matters too much, but 180, good morning, 60, on-hand pull-ups go 100, 80 on the rows, 30 on upright rows, 16 on that. All right, also another thing is you got 5 rep max and 8 rep max, and the 5 rep max is used for all the main movements, and the 8 rep max is kind of like for your accessory work. Now, especially on the main movements, this is something that I learned, is you have to be ultra conservative. The reason is because it's the percentages that they kind of use are really heavy, and so you have to err on the side of conservative. So whatever you think your 5 rep max is, in my opinion, you need to take 10 kilos off that, because if you don't, you're going to find that you overreach really quickly, which I did on the squats. Bench and deadlift, I was lucky, they were spot on, but squats, the first week and a half, I basically just overreached too early, and but the good thing is I recovered fast with the auto regulation feature. So let's just go to the good stuff. Here's the mesocycle. It's 4 weeks of training, 4 weeks of accumulation. 5th week is the deload. 4th week's kind of like in red to signify like your overreaching week, where you want to get that super compensation phase and earn the right to deload. First week's really easy. It's pretty much 2 to 4 sets of everything. It populates the weight for each category, so you got your rep results here and the rep goal. So basically how the rep goal works is where it says 2 from fail, it's really simple. You just got to leave 2 reps in the tank from failure. Another way of thinking is if you use the RPE system, this would be an RPE. So everything is a 2 from fail except the last week where you just leave 1 in the tank. This does take a little bit of getting used to. I found that I've probably needed 4 to 6 weeks to get used to this if you've never done it before. But once you get the hang of it, it's pretty good. It's, as I said, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. So that's 5 days in a row, taking the weekend off. Most days are only 4 to 5 exercises max. This little thing in here, arms, that was just me trying to add some extra direct arm work, just because that's probably, aesthetically speaking, my massive weak area that I want to improve. Other than that, it's a really great program. It's very simple, easy to read, obviously simple to use and input all the data. You don't have to think twice about anything. The big feature that's cool about these programs is they have a built-in auto-regulation feature that's trying to calculate your maximum recoverable volume. So you're always training at the proper level to elicit maximum gains. Basically, the rating system is on a -1 to 1 scale. -1 means the reps were really hard, move slow. 0 was they were right on the money, and then 1 is piss easy. Everything moved really fast. So if I'll show you how the feature works. Basically, if I'm putting everything as a -1, so all the workouts are easy, you're going to see next week's volume increase. So have a look at Monday, week 1. As you can see, the comp bench moved up from 2 sets to 3 sets. It's the same thing on the squats. If I put a +1 here, this should go up. So yeah, so Tuesday's low bar squat went from 4 sets to 5 sets. So very simple but really effective system of calculating your maximum recoverable volume. Same thing, if it's you put everything in -1, it's going to drop the volume next week. And if it's 0, it will just keep everything the same. I found it was good, you know. I overreached on squats early, so it dropped the volume. On bench and deadlift, I found everything was on the money or easy, and it bumped up the volume there. So it's a really good way of kind of auto-regulating your program to get the most out of your training. A quick thing to note about it is, say you write everything as a -1, it doesn't mean that, say just on one day, it won't drop the volume next week instantly, because you can have one bad workout and that doesn't necessarily mean you've overreached or anything like that. It's if you do it in roughly about 2 to 3 consecutive days. So those are all that stuff's really good. That's all the pros of the program. Just one or two little cons for me. We'll go back here. I think the hamstring movement and the hamstring volume is nowhere near enough, at least compared to the shoulder movements, which I think are not useless, but not very valuable at all. Basically, with the shoulder movements, you're doing them 4 days a week on the program, and it's all medial delt work. So if you look at what Renaissance Periodization recommends, it's upright rows and lateral raises. I'm not saying that shoulder mass and strength doesn't improve your bench, but I think more hamstring work would have been way more beneficial, because that can help definitely the deadlift and possibly the squat to a degree. So with hamstrings, you see, you just start off with 2 sets, and if everything goes up, your max you're doing is 4 sets in week 4. So I thought maybe, in my personal opinion, I'd like an extra hamstring movement in there, and maybe take out one of the shoulder movements. But that's just a small gripe from me. Other than that, the program is really solid. I'd recommend this for, in my personal opinion, I wouldn't recommend it for beginners. I think this is better for intermediates and advanced because of the auto-regulation feature itself, as well as what the rep ranges, sorry, not the rep ranges, the weights they use, because the weights are quite heavy. So yeah, intermediates and advanced will get a lot out of this, and beginners probably just stay on more kind of simpler based programs and straight linear progression so you can max out your gains the quickest way possible on that. So yeah, I give this a solid 9 out of 10. I definitely would recommend it for most people, most lifters. If you're a bodybuilder, it's not like it's a bad program, but I'd say it's probably not going to be as effective as something with kind of more volume for individual muscle groups and that sort of thing, because at the end of the day, this is a powerlifting specific program designed to get you stronger in the stronger for the competition lifts, I should say. And yeah, that's about it. I'm Alex, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.